morning, this is Jana. Welcome to my kitchen. Everybody loves a simple, fast, easy breakfast casserole. That's exactly what this is. You've seen me possibly make the raspberry breakfast casserole. Now I'm going to show you the sausage and cheese one. My oven's just heating up. I've got my oven preheated to 365 degrees. And I have 4 croissants, the large croissants. And I've just cut them like that. Put them into my casserole dish, lay them all flat out, and I've got my measuring cup for liquids, and I'm going to add to this 3 cups of milk, and I'm going to stick this in the microwave for 1.5 minutes. Just like that. And while I'm getting that warmed up, I have a 1-pound package here of some American cheese. Now you can use cheddar, you can use whatever. And so I'm going to take half of this. I'm going to break it up. And you can buy, this is the deluxe cheese. I like it better than the ones that you unwrap, the singles. I think that it's got a better flavor to it. And so I'm going to put the cheese into my casserole, just break it up. This is so rustic. There is nothing. I did spray my casserole pan with Pam and it really cleans up well. This is a ceramic pan. If you're using an aluminum or a glass, your timing might be different on your baking time. Like I said, my oven's at 365. If you don't have 365 on yours, you can set it at 375 and then turn it down halfway through the baking time to 350 and kind of split the difference. Get this all in here. This is such an easy, fast dish. Have you ever had anybody last minute that is coming for the weekend or whatever? This is just something you can always have in your freezer. I always buy those Sam's Club box of 12 croissants and I just come home with them. Every time I go, I just pick them up, put them in Ziploc bags in groups of 4, and that way I'm ready to go if something like this is ever needed. And so then I had pre-cooked breakfast sausage. Just use your favorite breakfast sausage, and so I'm just going to put this in here. I did drain off a little bit of the grease because this is a local butcher's. And it has more fat. For us who love to make biscuits and gravy, it's got real fat in it because a lot of the commercial ones anymore don't have as much fat in them. And that doesn't make as good of biscuits and gravy. I have to do that, Erin. Make my biscuits and gravy. Okay. I'm gonna set this aside and get my heated milk out of the microwave. And I had heated this milk for 1.5 minutes in this, and so it's warm, and that's going to give us a good start. And so I'm going to add, because remember, we've got croissants that already have salt in them. Our sausage has salt, and so I'm going to add only 1/2 teaspoon of salt to the milk, and then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon, this is a 1/2 teaspoon measurement, I'm adding 1 teaspoon of dry mustard. If you don't have dry mustard, you can add a little Dijon mustard, spicy mustard. I wouldn't use regular yellow mustard, like for sandwiches or hot dogs. I don't know that I would do that. And then I'm going to add some pepper. It's probably going to float on the top here, but that's okay. It'll be in there. So there's our ingredients. Now, the eggs. This is really important. When we are doing anything that is making like a custard, okay, you don't want to beat those eggs. You want to whip them just enough to blend the yolks and the whites. That way you don't end up with chunky scrambled eggs in there. You want it to be more of a custard to soak into the bread. And you don't have to do this the night before. This can be done like right before you bake it. This is nice. It doesn't have to soak with those croissants. And so see, I'm just going through with my fork and breaking up just to get those combined, just like that. Okay, now we're going to temper those eggs because those eggs are cold from being in the refrigerator. So I've got my milk with my seasonings in it, and I'm going to slowly, let's see, right-handed, try and do this. I'm putting my measuring cup over here because even though this is a wet pitcher, these are never sharp enough and they drizzle down the sides, and I don't want to lose any of my milk. And so this is what you want to do. This milk is warm, and you just want to trickle in that milk to slowly change the temperature of the eggs. If you poured this in too fast, it would curdle those eggs, and then your casserole is going to have a grainy texture to it, which is, to me, not as appealing. And then as soon as we get that temperature start to change, we're going to be able to add the milk in faster. You do not want your milk to be hot. You want it to be warm. So now we're about half. So as soon as you get about halfway done with your milk, so a cup and a half into it, we can speed up because those eggs have been tempered. Get all of our mustard and our pepper out of there. And so there's our custard for our casserole. Now I'm going to bring the casserole over. Put it on like this. Just cover all of your bread. Just kind of be careful when you get down to the bottom so you don't get all of your pepper or whatever in one area. And so now I'm just going to go through and press down. And like I said, you can use, whatever combinations of cheese, Goudas, or whatever you like, okay? Make this your own. And I'm guaranteeing you that your guests, your family, and this warms up wonderful the next day. You can just take out a piece and microwave it. I've made this for like a whole, for my husband. And when he gets up in the morning for work or whatever, he can just go to the refrigerator, cut off a square of what he wants, microwave it for a minute, and he has a healthy breakfast before work. Now, this is an option. I like to cover mine for the first few minutes so that cheese, as that starts to rise up, so that that cheese doesn't stick to the foil, I like to put on a piece of parchment just to give that. Now I'm going to pop it in the oven with that foil on the corners tight, and I'm going to time it for 30 minutes, or well, about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to take the top off so that it gets nice and golden brown, and then we'll finish baking it. This is going to bake for a total of anywhere, depending upon your casserole dish, anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. So I'm going to pop this in my 365 oven. We'll be back. All right, we're ready to check on. Halfway through our casserole here. And so you can see where we're at. It's starting on the edges to get more solidified. You can see it bubbling. So we're going to go ahead and put this back in and let it cook until it's set. Okay, welcome back. We're at 40 minutes. Get my timer off. Because we had done it it was about 22 minutes by the time I got to it. And we're going to look at this and see, after we removed the foil, it got puffed up and has nice brown to it. And what I want to show you is that the center of this is set. And when you stick a knife into the center of this, remember there's cheese in there. And there's some butter and stuff there from the, see, the knife comes out clean. You know that the eggs are set. And so I'm going to remove this from the oven, and I'm going to let it set for about 15 to 20 minutes to get ready for serving.